Jonah.
Uplifting the people, uniting the nation.
With the Nigerian people through you and the press. You recall on last Thursday, our party addressed the press with respect to the leadership of the 10th National Assembly. And we re-emphasized at that point the need for the independence of the legislature. And we drew attention to the fact that the provisions of the standing orders of the Senate and the House of Representatives is to ensure that members-elect would elect among themselves the leaders of both chambers. And that is sacrosanct, and that is in tune with democratic principle in constitutional democracy. It is clear that it must be emphasized that a critical ingredient for constitutional democracy is independence of the legislation, and of course the principle of separation of powers. As I indicated at the last briefing, the legislature remains the symbol of democracy in the constitutional democracy, in the sense that it is the people's house. That's where people are elected from all the constituencies in the country as a component part of the country to speak for their people. Since our last briefing, the feelers we're getting from the public domain is the fact that some elements within the APC have become jittery, and they continue to show and plot to ensure that they influence the leadership of the National Assembly. Information at our disposal, which of course are verifiable, some of which we got even from your own reporting. There are attempts by some APC elements to intimidate and to harass and threaten lawmakers-elect with a view to influencing the outcome of the election on Tuesday, 13th June, on the floor of both houses, as to who emerges the leader in terms of the Speaker and the President of the House of Representatives and the Senate, respectively. Reports from the public space indicate of plots in terms of the harassment, in terms of actually to arrest some people. Those people who are considered to be strong proponents for the independence of the legislation, and who are in the forefront on the need to respect those standing rules that provides that member-elects should elect their own leadership without any external influence. So we have these reported actions and plots to arrest such individuals. We as a party that believes in democracy, and that we've had the privilege of midwifing this democracy for 16 years, recognizes the fact that the legislature is an ingredient that is very important and key to sustenance of democracy. So on that basis, we need to raise alarm or to bring to the fore, when necessary, like as it is today, to emphasize the need for members-elect to remain steadfast and ensure that they, as required by law and the standing rules of both houses, that they elect from among themselves their own leadership without undue influence from external forces. We know that the independence of legislature is a prerequisite for a virile democracy, and we therefore insist, our party insists, that members elect in the both houses, the Senate and the House of Representatives, they must be allowed to elect their own leadership. It is important to say this, and this is important and very critical to our own democracy, that the National Assembly is the symbol of the sovereignty of the people in a participatory democracy. Because what's sovereignty? Sovereignty resides in the people. And how do you express that? It's by electing people to represent you at the National Assembly in both houses, and through them they can speak for the people. And whatever decision they are taking is on behalf of the people. So the sovereignty resides in the National Assembly through members elect, and of course when they are sworn in becomes members of the House of Representatives and of course senators. Fundamental to this sovereignty is the choice of the presiding officers, because that's how you establish that sovereignty. The ability of that institution to elect its own leadership, so that the sovereignty that is reside in the people through the representatives can be enhanced in that institution. So therefore, we are calling on them, and Nigerians expect that members elect should recognize the weight and the responsibility expected of them, so that they can hold that institution, because they are trustees of the people, to ensure that that institution continue to develop our democracy and ensure that the interests of the people are upheld in that institution. And it starts with how the leadership emerges, because they will be taking the authority from the people. And therefore, at all times, the interest of the people should be paramount in their consideration. As a party, we charge the lawmakers to remain steadfast in their resolve, because we're conscious that their majority, substantial majority of them are resolved to ensure that they defend the independence of that institution. And so we're calling on them to remain steadfast and continue to keep in mind, this is very important, the members elect will keep in mind that Nigerians expect them to assert their independence in the election of the Senate President and the Speaker of the House of Representatives. Thank you very, very much for your time, as always, and thank you for listening. The independence of the different bodies of government, but of course they should be coordinated, they should be working together in the interest of the people. We as a party don't believe that we should go and tell our members do that. But like I said last Thursday, we as a party, we're keeping our own position. Our position, we're keeping it close to our chest. We expect that members elect, and of course they are responsible Nigerians, their experience, they recognize the need for that independence of that parliament. And that's why we are saying members should be allowed. We won't say allow them and then we'll go behind and say do this. We are discussing. We are on the same page as to the need for the legislature, the National Assembly, to be independent and work in the interest of the Nigerian people. And it starts with the leadership. That's what we're saying. So as to whether we are jittery, I don't know where that's coming from. I don't know how you are expressing that. What we are saying is that there should be no external influence, there should be no coercion, there should be no intimidation, they should be allowed the freedom to choose among themselves, just like Nigerians should, under a democracy, should be allowed to go to the polling station and vote one way or the other. So we expect that process to be transparent, and that's the minimum we are asking for. And we only draw attention of Nigerians to the fact that there is this subterranean move that has been reported in the public space, reportedly so of influence or attempt to influence that outcome. That's what we just draw attention to. I've always said to you that our expectation, or what Nigerians expect of us as stakeholders in the political process of this country, that when you hear something, say something. When you see something, say something. And that's what we're doing. The National Assembly is just one institution. The leadership is the leadership. You are bringing in as if there are two different leaderships. Okay? It is not so. And there's no fixation. Again, I don't know what that means in your context. The leadership of the National Assembly is a whole. People get elected on the platform of party. I've been in the National Assembly for 2 terms, so I understand how that institution works. There are no APC members of House of Representatives. There are no PDP members of House of Representatives. They are members elect until they are inaugurated. When they are inaugurated, the party issues disappears. They are expected to work for the Nigerian people. So the leadership comes together, and that's participatory democracy. That's why every interest represented by members are contained in the leadership. That's why you have the leadership. You don't go there and say, I'm the leader of, I'm the speaker of APC. You are the speaker of the House of Representatives, comprising of almost 7 parties today. So there is no fixation, and the leadership of the National Assembly in both houses, they are one and the same thing. They don't go there and say, oh, I'm speaker of APC or speaker of PDP. They are speaker or Senate president of the Senate, not of a political party.
MPS, I have a question. Now my question has to do with...
Again, you know me very well that I don't. You know me very well that I don't speculate answers. This is a realm of semantics. Unfortunately, I'm not a governor or a governor-elect I'm not a governor or former governor, so I probably won't be able to answer that question. But I can tell you that I'm not speaking for the president. I don't speak for APC. I don't want to go into that because it's purely speculation.
No, I just want your own reaction to the fact that they are hobnobbing with the president when they are still members of your party.
I'm asking you this. Let me ask you this. And I don't speak for anybody. I speak for this party. I'm happy you say they are members of this party. And as to whether they are hobnobbing, that's your own word. I don't know what you mean by that. Is that negative? I'm asking, is it negative? No, I'm asking. We're having a conversation. This is interactive. Is that negative?
I just mentioned that they are being penciled down for ministerial position.
Well, I don't have that information. You have it.
I'm giving you that.
Well, thank you. I'll have to verify that. I'll verify that. It's united. And we have a common purpose. We're working in that direction, but the objective is to have a legislation that is people's legislation, that is not guided from anywhere, and that can work for the Nigerian people. That's our interest as a party. As to whether we can control a party, we're not here. We don't give instructions. We talk. We agree. We have a common purpose. We have a common mission, which is development of democracy in this country and the need for the parliament to be responsive to the Nigerian people. That's all our interest is. And we're focused on that, laser focused on that.